Shabbat Shalom, and thanks for joining me today. Soup for the soul, stories for the spirit. We got a little bit of everything. And today I'm going to make a very humble soup. It's one of my favorites. We have very few ingredients actually. We start with some olive oil, we add some chopped up onions, apples, then we put in about half a tablespoon of cinnamon, some butternut squash, and water. And that's it. I love how simple this soup is. It's really just a very simple, easy soup. As you can see, let me see if I can turn the camera around and show you. It is really starting to cook up. Here it is. And it's just really simple and nice and easy. And our next ingredients to go in, once those kind of get a little bit translucent, we're going to add in the cinnamon. Here's the cinnamon. And stir that in. See, this is do-it-yourself filming and cooking. It's a learning curve for me over here. You can let me know how I'm doing in the comments. But it's fun. It's fun. So, let that cook up for a little bit. And then in a few minutes, we'll add our butternut squash. And then we will add water and just and salt and pepper. If you like a little spice, you can put in some, actually some Tabasco is pretty good in there. I've done it like that before. And I chose this soup because so many Jewish foods are made from humble ingredients that come together and make something really special. It's amazing all the recipes we have made from potatoes or kasha or like buckwheat, just very simple ingredients that are cooked in a special way or combined in a special way, and of course with the ingredients of love and care that we always put in, and it comes out into something really delicious. So I'm gonna now go to another room and share some stories with you while the soup is cooking, and then we'll come back to it when it's ready to blend. So the recipe we made today was one where it just had a few ingredients and each ingredient really shines, and you get the simple beauty of each thing. And of course, you know, being a rabbi, I love the message in that. And it reminds me of a famous story about a character named Zusia. Zusia was an important teacher, and he was often heard saying to his disciples something like this. He said, "When I die and I go before the heavenly court to be judged, they will not say to me, 'Zusia, why were you not like Moses? He was so wonderful, humble, and yet so strong. Zusia, why were you not like Jacob? He struggled through his early life. He questioned. He got into a struggle with an angel and yet came out blessed on the other side of it.' And they will not say to me, 'Zusia, why were you not like Rebecca? So kind, so compassionate, so generous as to offer water not just to Abraham's servant alone, but to all of the servant's camels,' which was a considerable effort considering how much camels drink. No, they will say, 'Zusia, only one person in this world could be Zusia. Only one had complete power to be Zusia. No one could stop him. And so we ask you this, why were you not Zusia?'" It's a simple story, and one that is very powerful in giving the lesson of being authentic to ourselves and who we are. And I think this time of quarantine has been one for many of us that has allowed for a lot of deep thinking about who we've been and who we are and who we want to be, and sort of what is the through line between those things and where do we want to see ourselves go. So I hope this story will give you some inspiration to consider that and to ask yourself, are you being as true as you can to yourself? And are your actions exemplifying really the traits that you're hoping to put out into the world and helping to live your best life?
When we talk about humility in Judaism, we're talking about, being self aware enough that we have a good sense of self and a good sense of our own specialness and our abilities. But at the same time, that we see the specialness and abilities in others, and we're able to kind of have enough perspective to welcome their gifts and welcome what their opinions are, and to just have room to really listen. So when we are like puffed up with our own self-importance, that's of course too extreme, but the opposite is true as well. When we are not seeing clearly our own worth and what we have to offer, that also is a distortion. So humility in Judaism is really having a good balance of these two things. And on the one hand, feeling good about ourselves and our strengths, and on the other hand, noticing that others have many strengths and things to offer as well, so that we can leave room to learn and grow. So I love this story that I'm going to share with you. It's one really that speaks to when we're feeling a little bit depleted and not necessarily feeling our own strength as much as we'd like to, or our own agency, really. And in light of big problems in the world, that can be overwhelming, and we can feel really small and ineffective, especially when we're spending so much time at home alone, waiting in a holding pattern. That can lead towards self-doubt, and that can lead towards really feeling kind of deflated. So this is a story to shore up our spirits and remind us that we're not alone, that we have each other, and that each one of us has strength to provide. Here it goes. After creation, water was filled with pride and flaunted its power to swirl around and make oceans and fall from the sky as rain. It talked about how wonderful it was, and so God rebuked it and said it was being too boastful. But the waters didn't stop. They kept boasting, proclaiming that they could cover all the land with floods. God had enough and sent an angel with grains of sand to the waters. The waters looked at the little grains of sand and laughed. The angel told the frightened grains of sand that by sticking together, they'll be strong. Aided by the winds, the grains began to form beaches, which built up into mountains, and the waters drew back with respect.
And when we think about, putting out our best selves into the world, it's not that we have to be perfect or fix everything. And no one ever thought that, ever, even for our greatest leaders. There's this wonderful passage from Pirkei Avot, from the Wisdom of Our Fathers, it's called. And within it, our sages write, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. It is not upon you to finish it, meaning to finish all of the work of perfecting the world, of doing tikkun olam, of bettering ourselves, of putting out the very best into the world and making it whole. Of course it's not. But velo ata ben chorim lehibatal mimena. But we are not free to just not take part in it either. And it's that balance that we have to find. If you know the song, sing along with me. It's a good song for today. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, velo ata ben chorim lehibatel mimena. ולא אתה בן חורים, ולא אתה בן חורים להיבטל ממנה, ולא אתה בן חורים. So it's looking good. That's about what it should look like when it's ready to blend. And now I'm just going to go in and blend it. So let's see how this turned out. Just take a little bit. So use that beautiful orange color. Now I'll get a spoon and taste it. Let's see how it is. Delicious. The same as it is every time. Give it a try. If you do, let me know. I definitely want to know how it tastes. But in either case, I'm really glad that you joined me this morning. And I hope to see you next time. And I hope you have a great Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.